Oh dear, now I got a really sensible subject. So I'm talking today about the prostitute, or let me better say the whore of Babylon. One of the most important thing what we will have to answer in this video is, who is the whore of Babylon? Well, there are a lot of good interpretations, and I want to share with you one of these interpretations. But let me start first of all. When did the first time the people think about who could be the whore of Babylon? So this started quite in the early church. I mean, or something around 150s after Christ, they already were thinking about who could be this whore of Babylon. And quite fast they figure out this must be the Roman Empire, because so many things what the Roman Empire were doing were fitting completely into the description. But then we know 476 the Roman Empire suddenly found their end. After that point, we have to ask ourselves, well, was it true that the Roman Empire, they were the prostitute from Babylon, or could this be something else? Or was it maybe that the Roman Empire went over in just the other system? So it just took off her clothes and just put something else on what was quite similar. Now I want to come to one interpretation what is quite common, and I know a lot of people they won't like it, so let me just get it out of the box quite fast. So the interpretation is that this is the Catholic Church. And on this point I want to do first one thing. I want to say, hey, I'm not trying to attack any person in person, so even in this interpretation it is more about the system, it is more about this Vatican City. I have a lot of Catholic friends, some of them they take their faith really serious. This shouldn't be like a judgment where I say, well, every Catholic here they are the prostitute of Babylon or whatever, but much more this video shall help us to understand, could this be right or not? Even if you're watching now this video and you're a Catholic, please stay on, don't freak out. It is so important for you to know, could this be the case? If yes, there is a quite clear warning in the Bible what you should do then. Please stay on the next 10 minutes and finish this video. So what I want to do, I don't want to focus on symbolic, because there are a lot of good videos out there and there are a lot of good Bible teachings out there about symbolic. And if you will go into the book of Revelation, the first thing what you will realize, you will say there are 3 chapters over the whole subject. So this is one of the biggest subjects in the book of Revelation. If you will read there are a lot of symbolic stuff where you will say, well, that sounds exact like the Catholic Church. Well, it is nice with gold and purple and having all the incense and all this stuff. So it could fit really perfect in. What I want to do, I don't want to focus on this. Much more, I want to focus on other scripture from the Bible, what tell us actually on our fruit the world should realize if we are believers or if we are not believers. So what were they doing from their first day till today? And I know this is a long timeline, but we will just go through a lot of stuff and just watch, and then we will say, hey, are these fruits representing God, or are these fruits bringing more people far away of God, or even representing God in a completely wrong way and in a completely wrong direction? So the first thing what we see is that the Roman Catholic Church, they took over the system from the Roman Empire. So they built it up everything completely like it was in the Roman Empire, till the point that they have a perp, because in the Bible, you will never find something like this, that there will be one person and he will be in charge over the whole church and over everything, and he will be the only person who is connected to God. You will never find it. And if you find the scripture, please put it into the comment so then we can discuss this subject. The second thing is what we see, that the church is built up like a dictator. So one person and he says what is right and what is wrong. Let us see what happened especially in the Middle Age. So whenever someone stood up and he were against something or he had a other mindset, a other idea, this person was killed quite fast. Even for example, some scientists who stood up and said, hey, the world is more a ball, and they say no way, well, execute him. Or other people like Martin Luther, they stood up and they say, hey, sorry, we find something else in the Bible. So what they tried to kill him, but thank God he got protected. But there were so many other people, they were just killed because they saw something in the Bible, and this, the Catholic Church, they never wanted to have. The third thing is that the Catholic Church, they were really robber because they were taking the money from the people and they were not looking, hey, are these people in need or not? And see all these amazing churches and building of the Catholic Church. So do you believe that all this money came together because there were some people and they were just giving peaceful and with love to the church and spending their money? Well, the Catholic Church, they are murder. They killed so many people in the name of the Lord, and they say, well, this is from God and this is so terrible what happened there. And this didn't happen like only 600 years before, but it was not so far away. It happened still in Europe, that there were people were killed and they were just saying, yeah, these are witches or whatever. And just imagine you have a daughter and you are living during this age, and they will just come and you love your daughter and you really like her and everything, and they will just take her and they will burn her, and she is still alive and you have to see how she dies. I mean, to be honest, will you follow this church? Could you imagine to say, wow, yes, good job, church? No, you will freak out and you will say, what is wrong with you? You cannot represent God. But you know, these are things what all happen in the Catholic Church. And this is really, really terrible and so sad. The Bible is so clear whenever it comes to immorality, and it says, hey, we should live a clean life. And of course, the Catholic Church, they always saying, yes, morale is for us so important. But the truth is, immoral was always there in the Catholic Church. This is so terrible what you hear, what is going on in the Catholic Church till today. The next thing is what we see, that this immoral, it was not only with adults but much more, so many children are affected from this, and we always see it in the newspaper. There something comes out and there something comes out, and this all happened in the Catholic Church. This was happening over hundreds of years, and there are so many people, they never had the chance and they were always afraid. They never could talk about it. So therefore, the Catholic Church, they destroyed so many lives of these young children, of these young person, and they got lost maybe forever because they got a completely wrong picture from our God. See, the Bible tells us we shouldn't have any idols in our life, and we shouldn't worship any other person, alone God. This is one of the teachings what Jesus gave us. But if you will go to the Catholic Church, you will realize there are a lot of these idols in dead persons or just in wood, gold or whatever. Anti-Semitism is one thing what actually was supported by the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church, they never had a good understanding about God's people, and they were attacking them wherever it is possible. Well, the best thing is you just ask one of the Jewish people how their standing is to the Catholic Church. Well, think about Adolf Hitler and the Pope. They were good connected and they had one mindset whenever it came to the Jewish people, and this is so sad. What is with the false teaching of the Catholic Church? When you look to their teaching, they are teaching so many wrong things. Well, just take the Holy Communion. Well, there is nothing written that only the priest or only the Pope, he is allowed to drink from the wine. No, much more. This is something for the whole church. I'm sorry to tell you that, but I believe that through the Catholic Church, more people got far away from God than they got close to God. Because in their way, how they were acting, they were just pushing the people away. And to be honest, all the free thinkers who stood up in the Middle Age and in the late Middle Age, I can understand them because they were so done with the Catholic Church. And I believe if I were living during this time and if I didn't had a really experience with Jesus and God and His mercy, I will also be something like a free thinker, because I will say, if this is God, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of this church, because everything what this church is doing, this is quite terrible. Sorry, maybe I were a little bit emotional. To be clear, every church and every movement, they will do and they will have their failures, because no one is perfect. This is not the Protestant church is perfect, not the Pentecostal church or the Baptist church. So everyone will do his failures. The main question is this: how will we respond to our failures? And this is something what I realized, wow, the Catholic Church, they are not so interested to speak about their failures. Well, in the newer time now, where the newspaper and a lot of people stand up against the Catholic Church and they talk, yeah, well, sometimes they don't have other choice, they have to talk about it. But they will never bring the subject from their own on the table and say, well, we have to do something. I am so surprised. There are so many Catholic people I talk to, and when I ask them, well, what do you think about the stuff what happened in the Middle Ages? And I'm talking about Catholic people more from the Asia part. And what I realized, there are some of them, they don't have any idea what happened during the Middle Age in Europe. All the things what I told you just in this video, it is like, what? No, the Catholic Church, really? They are quite nice. No. Yeah, and this is the truth. The Catholic Church, they are not interested in a restitution to say, come on, let us bow on our knees and let us really pray for mercy. Maybe they will do from time to time something like a show, because they say, oh my God, now in French we are in all the newspapers, so we have to act somehow because of all this children's stuff what we did there. But then it is just a show for me. And this is something what makes me really a little bit sad. And in the beginning of this video, I told you it will be important to stay on till the end, because now I want to share with you one verse from Revelation 18, and it's number 4. And there the Bible tells us and gives us a clear commandment: come away from her, my people. Do not take part in her sins. So whenever you will answer this question for you, is the Catholic Church the prostitute of Babylon? And you will say, yes, she is it. Then there is a clear commandment for you. You have to go out. If you will say, well, Basim, this is nice what you are talking about, but actually I have completely different experience and I don't see it, and I see much more this system or this or whatever is the prostitute from Babylon, well, then it's up to you. But my part is done here, that I warned you and I said, hey, well, if I have a look to the fruits of the Catholic Church, I cannot say, wow, good work, well done. But much more, I see and realize all the bad things. And this is not only my opinion. Whenever I'm talking to people, especially to freethinker, this is always the first thing what come out. Well, see what the Catholic Church, see what the Pope is doing. So in my opinion, the Catholic Church, they are not representing God. Much more, they are separating the people from God and from His knowledge. Okay, that was a hard story today. So I'm quite interested to hear from you. How do you think about it? And what do you think, who is the prostitute of Babylon? And now it's up to you. Subscribe my channel, hit the bell, and see you in the next video. And this is about the second coming of Jesus Christ.